Hope everybody is doing great. Now, as the title suggests, I'm going to talk about news media. And let me tell you, I'm not going to give you a philosophy with regards to this, but I'm going to give you facts and numbers. And I'll let you decide on whether what I'm speaking about is true or false. So, before we get into the topic, let's look at a brief history of how news channels started in India. Well, in the late 60s or 70s, the only channel that we had to give us information was Doordarshan. Now, this was a government controlled organization, so we always got news that the government wanted us to listen to. It's still a government controlled organization, if you look at it that way. Yeah. But then in the early 90s, that's around 1992, CTV started. They started their own news channel as well. So we had a second option to look at how the news was provided to us. But along with this, there was advent of cable TV, and there was a plethora of channels that were coming in which was providing us news. So we were actually spoiled for choices if you look at the number of channels we had. But even after all this, if you actually look at how Indian news channels are rated, according to a survey done by Official Ping Yun site, which does surveys on all this, and according to them, Indian news channel are placed, or Indian media is placed at number 142. This is not because of shortage of journalists or anything as such, but it's because of the way that India provides news to their audience, right? So why is it at 142 and not at a better position? Now the amount required for a channel to run is somewhere around 200 to 300 crores. And the way these channels make their money is through ads or subscriptions. Now we all know the subscription for any TV channel as such is about 2 to 3 rupees on average, and that does not give you enough money. So they are mostly dependent on ads. How do you get ads? When there is viewership. And how do you get more viewership? By creating controversies, entertainment.
हाँ हेलो हेलो मैं कितनी जोर से मारूंगी यहाँ पे अभी अरे तू क्या
That is what pushed the channels towards debates. Now, you would be not surprised actually. The first person to start debating on an Indian channel was Arnab Goswami. And actually, all these media houses have Arnab Goswami to thank for all these channels to have been still surviving in the market. Now, Arnab Goswami was the not first person in the world to start it. It was Fox News that started debating on their channel. Arnab Goswami picked it up from there and he started debating on his own channel. And once he started doing that, well, when I say his own channel, I'm not talking about Republic because Republic came at a later stage.
From there, yeah, take off the mic and leave the show.
And very soon everybody followed suit. But what you find common among all these channels is the way they selected people who would come for a debate. Now, if you look at each and every channel there, they have a set of people. Like you have Sapnit Patra, you have Tanveer Hussain. So they selected a group of people. And if you actually go ahead and look at it, the group never changes. The topic keeps changing, but the person who comes to debate on it is always the same. Have you ever thought why? Do you think they are experts in all the topics that we are discussing? No, they are not. The reason why these people are always targeted is because they are good at providing entertainment to people, creating controversies, picking up a fight. Now, if you look at any debate on these channels, it's very normal for these guys to pick up a fight. The topic of the discussion would be different, but suddenly somebody says your party is useless, or the other person says my party is better than your party, or my leader is better than your leader, and the discussion goes to a different direction. And not even one, if you look at it, not even a single debate that's carried out on these channels have ever come to a conclusion. The number of debates that are carried out on each of these channels is quite a lot. And what's the definition of a debate? You call two parties with different views, let them discuss their points, then there's a voting done, as to what point is being agreed, and then it's left up to the people who are watching to decide that is what is right or that's what is wrong, because it's always a divided house when it comes to debates. But is that how the debates are running on our channel? No, it's not. They'll shout, they'll start a discussion with one topic, and then by the time the debate ends, it's never concluded. The topic of discussion is actually never discussed, right? So that's exactly what's happening in our debates. Now, there's also another survey done on how many number of debates were carried out on the top 4 channels that are there in India. So the total number of debates that were carried out on Indian channels is about 200, right? In that, if you divide those separately, the debate on Pakistan were about 80, whether they were attacking Pakistan or whether they were blaming Pakistan or decisions made by Pakistan was about 80. Well, there were about 100 debates done where they were either praising the opposition or praising the government, or they were attacking the government or they were attacking the opposition. And then on the Punjab Bank scam, there was one debate done. And then the BR floods, there was one debate done. So if you look at the division, there were only 2 debates which were of any use, right? Rest, all the debates were whether bashing Pakistan or praising the government or speaking against the government. Now, let me give you another figure. The amount of money spent on the 2019 elections for advertisements on whether it was social media or on television was about 20 to 25,000 crores. In fact, if you compare these figures with other countries, even America does not spend so much on election campaign. All these political parties, whether it's Congress, BJP, Janata Dal, Communist Party, AAP, any party that you're talking about, they are the customers. So any salesperson would not pick up a fight with their own customers because they need them for these ads, right? If you remember during election, we could see Arvind Kejriwal's face every 5 minutes on TV giving an ad saying that vote for me, or whether it was the BJP with Modi, or whether it was Rahul Gandhi's promotion as a leader. But it also makes us realize that every single political party is their customer. So, like I said, any salesman would not pick up a fight with his own customer. Now, whether call it their dependency or whether you call it their necessity, you can actually check on our official website. I've given the link below, wherein you can go ahead and see who are the investors in these news channels, right? So it also depends on who's investing in your news channel. Well, you might say Republic TV does not care about their investors, but you would be surprised to know that 85% of the shares belong to Arnab Goswami itself. So it is very much evident that these news channels are not there to provide us news, but to provide us entertainment. Because it's one thing that all these news channels have found out. Because if you consider the TRP of a news channel against any other entertainment channel, there's a huge difference. There's about 3 to 4 times that the TRP of an entertainment channel is better than a news channel. So that is what these news channels have found out. So that is what these news channels have done. So am I trying to say that don't watch these news channels? No, definitely not. You still have to watch these news channels because you need to know what's happening in the world. But the only thing that I can request you guys to do is please don't believe everything that you watch. Now, with the advent of social media, there is a lot of options available where you can go ahead and verify whether the news that's been provided on these channels are right or wrong. And that's another funny thing. Usually, when you compare the rest of the world, there's a lot of rumors spread on social media, and it's the news channels which verifies them and says that this is incorrect information given on social media, or this is correct information given out. But it's the other way around on Indian channels. Let me also give you one simple example. Now let's look at Sushant's case. Now we all believe that it was because of the people that the case was given to CBI. It is because of the amount of pressure that people created. Well, don't be dissatisfied, but that's not the actual truth. Firstly, if there was no coronavirus, everybody would have been busy with their work and then nobody would have raised their voice with regards to Sushant. I'm sorry if I'm sounding very negative, but that is the actual truth. Now, you also need to understand that there is a lot of politics involved here. Now, you can also judge on your own as to what political situation that I'm talking about. I don't have to exaggerate on that or explain that to you. But understand one thing, all these media channels are not providing us news, but they have turned into a propaganda machine. So please, like I said, don't stop watching these media channels, but please don't believe anybody on their face value. Please go ahead and do your verification, do your checking, because there's a lot of sources available now. Somebody would support Republic, somebody would support NDTV. Well, it's left up to you. You can keep doing it as long as you want. I'm nobody to stop you guys from doing it. So it's left up to you whether you want to go ahead and look at the information and do your due diligence and then decide whether to believe on the information or not, or whether to continue the way you're continuing as if now. So hope that the information that I've given is useful. Hope to see you in my next video, and ciao for now.